All right, everyone, I just want to thank you guys for coming. As we head into our 15th anniversary season of ice hockey here in Corpus Christi, it's going to be an exciting one. We've already had a lot of fun and exciting news here in the off season, and you'll hear more about that as we progress here through this press conference. I'd like to thank the media for showing up, fans, also the American Bank Center and SMG for assisting us. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up the General Manager of the IceRays, Pat Dunn, as he will kick things off.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you, everyone, for showing up today. Members of the media, our fans, our billet family, parents who are here, and we can't thank you guys enough. First, I want to also thank SMG, American Bank Center, for helping us set this press conference, and also Jim Salamenta and his staff, and Amy Baxman, who's our assisted event coordinator, and for dealing with us. But we look forward to working with you guys again for many, many more years to come. Well, today is a special day here in Corpus Christi. 15 years ago, a gentleman from Vancouver, BC, Rick Brezer, made the announcement that he was bringing hockey to South Texas. And I'm sure there may have been a few puzzled fans and people asking, what the heck is hockey going to come down and do here? Well, what do you know, 15 years later, we're still here, and we are in a few minutes going to unveil the 15th anniversary logo. This year will be a very fun year, very big year for the IceRays, and we're looking forward to many, many fun things. I will get back to it after, but Mashari, if you want to unveil the 15th anniversary logo. Never perfect. And we also wanted to sort of kick off the season with unveiling our schedule as well. You can find schedules in the back on the table, courtesy of our friends at L&F and La Pomera Mall. Our first game of the season, we'll have our home opener on September 28th versus the Topeka Roadrunners. So we're looking for a great start. We're going after the top guys right off the hop, so it will give us a test to see how well Justin did his job over the summer here with his crew. But it's going to be a great test for us. Also, newities this year, we'll be playing the two Alaskan teams. We will visit Alaska. We will play in Fairbanks and Kenai River, and we will host them in November. So that will be a fun weekend for us, and probably will be tied in to our Stars and Stripes night that we host every year. Along with that, we'll still have the Pack the House night, military, Stars and Stripes obviously Pack the House. Those three games alone, we've raised over hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past 5 years. So we're looking forward to those nice charity nights as well. And also this year, as we celebrate our 15th anniversary, we sort of tie into the Caller Time Best of the Best, as they started their Best of the Best with the coming of the hockey team 15 years ago, for those of you who remember, with a skating party at the Memorial Coliseum. And again, that's 15 years ago. So this year we will be tying in with the Best of the Best weekend with Caller Times, and hopefully by then we'll have some more exciting news. Obviously we do want to do an alumni game, whether it's done there or a little later in the year. We want to bring players back from at least one player from every year over the 15 years, so that will be fun. We'll be bringing some old legends, and so that should be a good time. Hopefully our friends at Budweiser and Miller will support us on that weekend. There'll be a lot of beer drinking and storytelling, I'm sure. Next, also, it was a huge summer for the IceRays with our last season goaltender Anthony Stolarz getting drafted with the Philadelphia Flyers in the second round. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I'll let Justin talk about it. What a great story. So we also made a banner that will hang in the American Bank Center along with our sponsor friends at Advantage Public Storage.
Protection.
Our friends Amy and Pat Nolan, who have been very supportive of the team. And what better people? They are great entrepreneurs themselves and have done well for themselves, and they wanted to put their logo on the banner. So this banner will really just be hanging to remind players, when I say players of both teams, IceRays and visiting teams coming in, to remind them to follow their dreams. We also have our friends here who hosted Anthony Stolarz last year, so you see the little brother there. So I'm sure they were quite proud of having Anthony. So that too, we're always looking for billet families. For those of you interested in housing players over the course of the years, feel free to call the office. So that's it for me. We're looking forward to a great season, good 15th anniversary season with many, many fun things. And I will pass the mic over to Justin Quenville, who will give you an update on the team and a few other news that IceRays have to announce today. Thank you.
All right. First off, thanks everyone for showing up. At the end of the day, this is the way we look at it, the most exciting time of the year. It's definitely not like playing anymore. Your off seasons are much more event-filled, a lot more recruiting, a lot more traveling, hence why I struggle to have a relationship, all right? But you know what? The relationship for me is my team and my staff and everyone here that supported me here throughout this transition, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of this, so thanking everyone for being here today, obviously the fans, the sponsors, and the entire office, for dealing with me all summer from all the requests that we had on our end. But with that said, I'm obviously appreciative of the opportunity to come back and obviously build on last year's success. At the end of the day, that's what this is about, is continue to build in terms of moving forward in our success and our path. And last year we set a lot of different franchise records in that aspect, but I think the most important one and the one that we all focus on is winning that last game. And that's our goal this year, is to win that last game, going to the Robinson Cup and doing this the right way and going all the way. Because you know what? Seeing a lot of things like this happen for Anthony and several players move on is great. But in terms of the franchise and bleeding these colors here for this long, I think we're all long enduring a championship, right? So we're excited for that. Like we talked about advancement, we talked about development. That's the exciting part. That's what this is about. We want to give these players an opportunity. But you look at someone like Anthony Stolarz. I mean, here's a player a year ago, and I remember the conversation I had with his parents, a New Jersey boy with his family, and I'm trying to recruit them to come down to Corpus Christi, Texas for more exposure and more opportunity and development. And they looked at me like I was crazy. So, what do we sell from then on? We sell on the beach, right? No, obviously everything is hockey, and that's the one thing that we had to come to a conclusion, is that we have to humble ourselves in this industry when we're recruiting players, that they want to know what we can do for them in terms of advancement and development. And this organization has done that from the start that we made that transition in junior hockey. I'm extremely excited to continue to be a part of it, and that goes with the entire staff, everyone that's helped out from top to bottom, and obviously with Pat Dunn believing in that model, as well as Cassidy and Tim Lang, really following through on it. Because here we are now, 16 college commitments. That's 16 players that have touched on this program in the last 2 years that are moving forward to play collegiate hockey. And that's huge. I mean, we're talking over $500,000 in scholarships, players, opportunities for them to move on. That's a great deal. We got 2 young players that have made a huge splash this summer. Former players here, Matt Weiss, who just made the U18, the under-18 national development team for the USA. I mean, we're talking 300 million people in the country, and he made a roster of 30 players. That's incredible. Anthony Stolarz, he made the U20 team. Those are 2 players playing for programs that we watch on television. And growing up in Canada, where junior hockey is everything, and I mean everything, it's exciting to see this happen, in front of our own eyes, and to have players continue to move on like this. So very excited about it. But at the end of the day, I think when we say understatement for Anthony Stolarz getting drafted, I mean, I think we all debated throughout the year last year, where was he going to go? Who was he going to get drafted by? But none of us imagined him getting picked in the second round, 45th overall, for, you know, someone that we thought was an established goaltender in Bobrovsky. They traded for him, so he went second round, 45th overall by the Philadelphia Flyers. And so everybody knows who they are, but that's exciting. And at the end of the day, that's you know, an opportunity for him. And you know, I know Rob Lipolis was there, and so was Pat during the draft, and it was a pretty remarkable moment for the entire family. I think there was a cast of 20 people with them, so very, very special moment for that young man. Very, very special moment for this organization, but more importantly for the league, because that's a huge accomplishment. So for anyone who doesn't understand the magnitude and the scale of how important it is to move these players on, having a player drafted in the NHL, I mean, that lasts forever. So we're excited to continue to move in that path, and you know, hopefully continue to develop players like Anthony and several other players here. So in moving forward here into this year, I think that's the biggest goal here, is, you know, not reflecting on the past. As exciting as this past summer was, and this past year, and moving on a lot of players, at the end of the day, it's moving forward to today. And even though last year, mid-season, and we're still geared towards doing everything we can to make this team successful, we're still recruiting for the following season. That's what we did, you know, for this year. We just got done our main camp in Dallas. We had a very successful consecutive group of camps in Dallas, as well as our Chowder Cup in Boston, where we brought 3 teams. It gave us an opportunity to showcase some more players, but obviously gave us an opportunity to evaluate them too. So we've got players coming from all over the country this year. We have several returners from last year's team as well. We got players like Perry DeRisso, AJ Jaros, Chris Taft, Phil Peccinero, Trevor Huser, Joe Ginley, John Grabowski. We got a lot of players coming back from last year who were impact players. 2 of those were in our top 3 in scoring. You know, the other 3 were defensemen who were youthful players last year, coming back after a year of development, which is huge for us. So that's exciting. At the end of the day, we felt like we needed to be aggressive in a lot of different areas. This year, we needed to round up a little bit more in terms of the depth. We needed to be a little bit older in certain areas, and we got that. We made 3 big transactions this summer. One of them was going after John Roysum. He's a defenseman that played in Jamestown, New York last year, and a little bit in Topeka, so we're a little familiar with them, but he's coming here. He's going to be a very offensive defenseman for us. We also got Mike Economos. He's a big player that came out of Michigan, originally an Illinois boy, but he's a 20-year-old coming in here with a lot of experience, a lot of leadership, and you'll notice him there first day on the ice. He's going to be big number 19, and he's going to be rough and tough and score some goals for us, so that's exciting. And then Rudy Solmonte, who's we call a CHL player, which is a Canadian Hockey League player, but he's an American-born player who played a lot of Tier 1 status in Canada, so is going to be bringing that experience as well on the offensive front. So we're talking about key players here that we're trying to build for this, you know, environment, this culture we want to create, and it just keeps coming. We brought 2 more players in, free agents. Tommy Teleska, he was a leading scorer for his team in the AJ in the New York Bobcats. We got Ian McGilvery, who you might be familiar with, 2 years ago, played for New Mexico, but went over to the EJHL, which is the Eastern Junior Hockey League, and he was a leading scorer there for his team, the New England Huskies. So 2 more established players coming down here to round up front with just power-studded forwards, the kind of team that, you know what, if you haven't heard about offensive, you're going to be coming to these games and go, wow, you know what, because we're going to be an in-your-face, aggressive, puck-moving, physical team that's going to come at you every night, so that when other teams see us on the schedule, they're going to go, oh my God, I don't want to go to Corpus. So it's going to be that kind of team this year, and that's why I'm excited. So hopefully you guys are as well, but I can't tell you how excited I've been to announce it, but also move forward with this. The guys coming down. On another front too, obviously we got our youth. We got a lot of young players coming in. We got hopefully another young Anthony Stolarz. We got 2 new goalies this year, and I'm excited to announce one of them, which is Jet Salinas. I know you've seen him in the press in terms of what we've released, but here's a championship goalie. You know, it's funny how it works out in the end. Here's a guy that I tried to recruit to come down here last year, and you know what? He may have taken Anthony's spot. He opted to go to another team at a lower level where he knew he was going to be guaranteed to play. And what did he do? He played. He won, and he won a national championship at the Tier 3 level. So we're getting a chance to inherit a goalie with not only experience, but it's going to be very, very exciting to watch. You're not going to miss him out there. He's got long hair. He's got a bright silver helmet, and you know what? He's extremely fast, but he's going to remind you a lot of Anthony. And then our other goaltender who we just acquired as well, his name is Dylan Kelly. 6'5", 220 pounds. He's a big boy. You're not going to miss him in front of the net, and he's got a little aggressiveness to him too. So he's going to be a fan favorite, and there's going to be 1-2 punch. Going to be back and forth until they dictate to us who wants to play. So that's exciting for us. So I can't talk to you enough about what we're doing here in terms of the summer front moving forward for the training camp, but we got 26 young players coming in here soon, and you know they're going to be battling it out, and we're excited to send a message early. On a bigger scale here, there's been some rumors going around about adding some people in the staff, and I'm very excited to announce that we have hired a new assistant coach, and that assistant coach's name is Jeff Worlton. And I'd like to announce that today because we've had to keep it a little bit in wraps here, obviously because of his duties. He's a former head coach for the Flint Junior Generals. That's in the NA3HL, which is a development league for our league. So he's very formidable and very familiar with this process in terms of the junior world. Very well known and very well respected. I'm very excited to get him down here. I feel like he's going to be a great compliment, not just to myself, but in the environment here. You're not going to miss him. He's a big boy. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. Played a lot of pro hockey as well. I actually played against him my rookie year. Luckily, didn't run into him, but he was a big boy. He was a tough guy. So it's going to be a great compliment for this organization, and I think fans are really going to be attracted to this guy in terms of what he has to offer, and that's what we're excited about here. So just a little history on Jeff. He's had playing stops in Austin, Stockton, Louisiana, Cincinnati, and then obviously more notably where he finished his career was in Fort Wayne. He's a guy that is very well known in the hockey industry and is going to be very reputable when he comes here. So we're excited to have him on board, and he should be here in the next couple of weeks as well. On top of that, he even has some experience at the collegiate route, and that's very important for players of this age. They want to come to an organization that not only helps develop them and promote them, but moves them up to college. Well, Jeff here has got experience. He's an assistant coach at Marion College for a year, and that's very important at this level that we can continue to promote players to programs that we're familiar with. And at the end of the day, bringing a guy like Jeff down is going to be huge for us in a lot of different areas. One, mainly because we're going to name him the director for the Corpus Christi Hockey Association here, where we're going to be a lot more involved with youth hockey, a lot more involved with the community in terms of what we do on the ice, because it is important. We want to see this sport grow. And when I came here 7 years ago, it was very important for me to be involved in the youth hockey organization and helping young children, advance in terms of not just setting them, here, seeing them here today, supportive of the team, but to maybe one day get them to play at a level where we're all familiar with, and maybe one day be a Corpus Christi IceRay. And I think that's the ultimate goal. Jeff's going to be a part of that. He's going to be able to operate that hands-on. He's going to be way more involved in terms of the ice scheduling so that we can maximize the amount of ice that we use here too, because we do have to, check our egos at the door here. We are in South Texas, and ice is very, very scarce sometimes. So we want to take advantage of the amount of opportunities we have to have the ice here, and we're very fortunate to have the ABC here, really work with us in terms of flipping that ice. And I know they hate me during the 8 months during the season, but we're excited to continue to help grow that product here. And while the boys are here, do you guys mind coming up here? Yeah? Come up here. Get on camera. We got 2 youth hockey players right here. What are you guys doing? All right. So I'm a pretty big guy, but when you're going to be next to Jeff, it's going to be about another foot, okay? So here are 2 young hockey players here, hopefully growing up one day to play for the Corpus Christi IceRays, and that's the ultimate goal here, seeing these young boys develop and have fun, and at the end of the day, we want to see this product grow, and I think it's really important. So let's make sure we get these boys in a picture, because you know what, maybe one day we'll have a 15-foot poster of them up too, right? I think that's the ultimate goal. With that said, I do want to thank everyone coming out. Obviously, it's very important that we address everything that needs to be addressed, but if there's anything that you felt like has been left out, please approach any of us for questions. We're excited about this year. At the end of the day, this is what it's about, guys. Hockey's here, and it's right around the corner. And thank you for coming out, because I'm excited as well. Okay? Thank you.
All right, I just want to thank everyone here for coming out today. And like Hugh said, we're looking forward to this upcoming season. And if you haven't been able to go on yet, our hockey team has a YouTube page as well, along with a Twitter and a Facebook, and we update those every day, multiple times. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news and scores when the season comes around, just follow us on Twitter and Facebook and the YouTube page. If you want to relive the NHL draft, like Hugh said, I was there along with Pat Dunn, and it was a fun time. So if you want to relive those moments, you can go up and check those out. He gives Gregory Portland High School a shout out, so that was pretty cool. So I want to thank everyone for coming, and the media and everyone who just wants to hang around and maybe do some one-on-one interviews with Justin Quenville or Pat Dunn. Hang around and we'll set those up. Again, thanks for coming.